of loving you. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe the world will love this feeling too. I just can't believe it's true. I should've got it.
Oh, honey, honey, you are my candy girl, boy, and you got me missing you. Oh, honey, oh, sugar, sugar, you are my candy girl, boy, and you got me wanting you and missing you, missing you. Welcome, love bugs. Welcome to art. Guess what we're doing today? You'll never guess. Hey, welcome. Hey, another week in art in my kitchen. What do you think? Getting used to it? I hope so. So what do you think of all of this? Do you think that I have this at my house every single day? Are you kidding me? I bought it just for you. If you were here, I'd share it with you, but I guess I'm gonna have to eat it, or I have a feeling Roman and Rocco will eat it very quickly when I'm done with this video. So, you're asking yourself, why does Jennifer have all this? Well, it's because of art. There was an artist by the name of Wayne Thiebaud, and he painted pies and cakes and donuts and gumball machines and ice cream cones and all these sweet things. And at first people thought, is he a little bit crazy? I don't know how he painted all these things and didn't eat them all at once. He has a pretty interesting story. He was born in Arizona, and he's actually still alive. He's 100 years old, believe it or not. But he had many different jobs. He was a sign painter and an illustrator, and he made posters for movies, and he even worked as an illustrator for Walt Disney World. But he realized that he could actually make money from his paintings. But at first he really didn't have a distinct style. And a friend of his, who was also a famous painter by the name of William de Kooning, said to him, Wayne, stop copying everybody else and find your own style. Find something that you like to paint, something that makes you happy. And so Wayne took some time off, and he began teaching in a college in New York City, and then he went back to his painting. And he said that he sat in his studio and he was just sketching with pencil shapes, ovals and circles, and all of a sudden these ovals and circles started to turn into pies and cakes. He had once worked at a restaurant, and when you worked at diners in the old days, they would have these big glass display cases where they would show the pies. Sometimes at Bob Evans, they show them like that. And he remembered how the pies would be lined up in the display cases, or to be served in the back where the waitresses would pick them up. And so he began painting from memory the pies and the cakes and the slices of cakes and the slices of pies and the ice cream cones. And he began painting these on canvas. He kind of thought to himself, am I nuts? Should I be doing this? People aren't gonna think this is art. But he couldn't step away from it. And so he continued painting these beautiful works with different sweets. And sometimes he would paint things that came from maybe a woman's makeup drawer, lipsticks, or her closet high heels. And he began to sell his work, and he began to make money, and he began to be recognized as a great American artist. And you can tell his work because of, first of all, of the subject matter, the still lifes. And remember what a still life is? It's a collection of objects set on a table. It could be flowers, it could be pies and cakes. Could be shoes, could be anything. So he continued to make these still lives. And what was interesting in these still lives with all the pies, sometimes they look like these tables of desserts that would go on and on forever. Like you just thought, do they ever end? The one thing that he always shows in many of his works are these shadows, the shadows next to the pies or the cakes. And the colors that he uses are, sometimes I call them like the sherbet colors. Some are pastels, some are bright, some you can see the warm and the cool colors next to each other, which make the subject matter pop. We've talked about putting warm and cool colors together in class. Sometimes he uses different shades of one color. But you'll always be able to pick out a Wayne Thiebaud painting by the subject matter. You'll see the cakes and the pies. What I want you to do next is you are going to look at several works of his, and I want you to begin to look at them, stop the video, and look at them and study them. And I want you first to figure out what jumps out in the painting. What do you see first? What colors does he use? Does he place warm and cool colors next to each other? And what is the background? Because his backgrounds, and I don't want to tell you about his backgrounds because I want you to figure it out. What do his backgrounds all have in common? Is there a lot of detail? You're going to answer that question. Do you see his brush strokes in his paintings? Is there repetition? Do you see things repeated? Sometimes you may not. Most of all, do you see the shadows? What color do you see in the shadows? What colors jumps out to you in a Wayne Thiebaud shadow? And finally, what do all of his works have in common? And after you look at these and discuss them, and oh, by the way, look at them with somebody in your family or whoever is in the house. I'm not going to say friends because we shouldn't have friends in our house right now. But it's fun to discuss a painting with someone else because they might bring up things that you're not considering or seeing. And it really sort of makes for really interesting conversation when you look at artwork with someone else. Okay, so I'll see you after you look at your Wayne Thiebaud works of art, okay? Oh my gosh, am I gonna eat all this? Oh my gosh, I just wanna put my face in that cake. Ah! All right, have fun. I'll see you in a few. Mwah. Hey, so what'd you think of his work? My gosh, did it make you hungry? Anytime you look at his work, it makes you hungry. In fact, when you're done with the art project, maybe you can bake a cake or cupcakes or a pie. Oh my gosh, if you know how to make a pie, I will be totally impressed. Did I tell you how hard this quarantine is for me? Because Jennifer is not a cook. I've had to cook every meal. It's been very difficult for me. Okay, so what I want you to do now is I want you to look this site up, okay? It is Wayne Thiebaud, and it is a video on YouTube, CBS Sunday Morning, which is one of my favorite shows ever. I want you to watch this, okay? I'm not so techie that I know how to put the video connected to my YouTube. So bear with me, okay? So stop the video, look this up, and I'll meet you back in a second. I think I'm gonna go eat a cupcake. Hey, middle school, how are ya? So I was so impressed with all of the different pieces that people emailed me or put on the Facebook page last week. Awesome job, awesome. And I hope that all of you are spending some time each week doing your art lesson. And I encourage you to either email it to me or you can put it on the Facebook page, whatever is easiest. Okay. So what did you think of Wayne Thiebaud? Interesting, isn't he? He is, he's quite an artist. And I love the fact that he was told to find something to paint that he was passionate about, not to paint what other people were painting. And so when he started this cake thing, he wasn't quite sure, but he stuck with it. And look what happened. He had to paint something that he was interested in, something that excited him. So if you look, these are just some examples of what the other grade levels are doing because we're all studying Wayne. And you can see they're all sweet treats. And, you know, we've had fun with, you know, thinking about all the sweet things that we like to eat. Very simple, just like Wayne. For you, though, I wanted to think a little bit outside of the box and away from the sweets. And I wanted you to think about what really floated your boat. But I wanted you to create it in the style of Thiebaud. And, you know, looking at the video and looking at the works I showed you, one of the things that you notice is that sometimes he repeated the same object or similar objects. He had a very simple background and a very simple table. I want you to think about the things in your life that are important to you, something that you would really feel excited to draw and then paint or color with whatever you have, the markers or watercolors or crayons. What I want you to do is to compose it very simply. Think of Thiebaud's compositions, how he placed his objects on the paper. And I want you to draw the objects as well. If you just want to do one, and I don't care how you have the paper, if you turn it vertical or horizontal, that is fine. I tried to think of, you know, where you are in life. I have teenage boys, and you can tell, you know, at this point what might be somewhat important in their lives right now. These game things are all over the house. So I decided to do that because I thought, well, maybe that'll speak to you. Is it in the traditional colors? No, I didn't do it in black because I thought that was boring. So you can take your, whatever your item that you want to do and change it to, I guess that's called artistic license. You change it the way that you want it. Okay? So just to get started, what I want you to do is to get a piece of paper, and you might want to do some thumbnail sketches. Some of you know what that means, where you go and you just kind of draw ideas in little boxes on a paper and then figure out the composition that you like the most. I think if you're going to do it horizontally, you know, you draw your horizontal line and then Here's an example of his parfait glasses. I'm just doing the glasses because my mind is on sweets because I've done so many of these videos this week of sweets. And so you can see how I have it composed with the 3 glasses. Maybe there's a straw on each side. Okay. Think about your composition. Think about your colors. You can see that I use warm and cool together. And think about what is important to you. Draw it, paint it, color it, and then I really would like to see what you've done. So, however, and even if you are not happy with it, still show it to me. It's important for me to see your work. So send it in, baby cakes. All right? Hey, enjoy this lesson. I'm so excited to see what you do. I miss you guys. Enjoy your week.
Mom, can we eat it?
Don't
Look
you
at this
don't
nice
you dare
chocolate
get your hands off of
cake.
it. Get your hands off of it right now. Oh, I need it for my art class.
And
Don't
these
you
nice
dare.
donuts.
Don't
Oh,
you dare,
what
you
is
chow
this?
hounds. Don't you dare. Roman, put that down right now.